Absolutely. The track conditions are actually quite good now. There's plenty of rubber down. The conditions are getting cooler, which is going to help them as well. You see the amount of debris. We were talking about the marbles as they talk about. That's as dirty as it gets there on the outside as they're coming up through turn 3 there. I don't know why they're warming their tyres up there too. You've got to stay off that stuff because it's just going to stick and it's going to be very, very slippery if you start the race on that.
Robbie Gordon just took a lucky guest out for a lap and he's cleaned all the rubber out of the way. Well, majority anyway. Craig Woods collected his second win of the year. He'll start from pole position alongside Kel Tressiter. James Duckworth and Jay Robinson start on the second row. Blake Skibberus and Reece Chapman. Travis Sharp, Chris Stevenson. Back to Alex Barbudas, who's making his debut, the 17-year-old. Thompson and Charlotte Pointing back in 12th position. Down to Jeff Waters in 15 and 16. And Bill Hines joins Ruth Bowler on the 10th row. Emma Clark and Kent Quinn is back. If you weren't here this morning to watch race number 1, had a big rollover down there in the sand trap at turn 6, and all it was a bent wishbone in the end.
Is that right?
That's all that was damaged.
Well, I don't know what his dad Tony was doing, but he was filming the replay of his rollover. Just a typical concerned dad who just had his, had his phone up, just taking some footage. So
unique father-son relationship, that one, isn't it? So he's prepared that car. They've had a few hours to get it done anyway and replace the diff housing on that car just in case, a precautionary thing by the team. And we weren't expecting to see that car back out today, but well done. He'll start from the back row of the grid. And there it is. Hard to think that car was in a million pieces this morning.
Absolutely, yeah, great job by the crew. And it's something that we see all the drivers out on track there, but there's always the hard-working pit crews behind it, and it's just it shows a testament to those guys that have put in some hard work to get him back out there. So well done.
So into position, word from Cameron Van den Dungen in pit lane was a carby change to Woods. We saw that just sitting there, so a late change to our pole sitter.
He's got a bit of angle on the grid there to try and get across for his launch at the start. So obviously we saw James Duckworth not get the best start in the last race, so he'll be looking to get a good jump off the line.
Traditionally the pole would be on the racing line, but here it's a little bit different, and we saw that in the race prior to this. The green flag coming out in the middle of the pack towards the back of the grid here. And getting set, 12 laps, race number 2. We come back tomorrow for a top 15 reverse grid race. So to kick off a Sunday here in Perth. It's race number 2 of round number 3 of this year's Aussie Racing Car Super Series. The second time these cars have been to Barbagallo, and Tressiter, as predicted, has got the better start from the second position. The Kart Centre Perth entry leads us down into turn number 1. And everybody at the moment is taking it very safely through the first couple of turns.
It's definitely that left-hand side of the track that's got the grip, the racing line, and Kel's not mucking around. He's gone straight out there, got a great jump, and he's going to try and put a bit of a gap on these guys in the first lap.
He'll need to. On board with Duckworth across the top, and the ex-Kyle Clues car just touches the curb on the inside and trying to stay away from their really aggressive sawtooth curb on the left-hand side.
Well, the reason why they do that is they're starting with lower tyre pressures. If they get on a curb like that, it could damage the inside of the tyre, cause a puncture, and then they're out of the race.
And at turn number 6 they go. So Kel Tressiter, he was here earlier this week at the new Kart Centre in Perth down in Canning Valley. Opened the business. Oh, look at Travis Sharp just coming out of nowhere in car number 2. He's going to get 2 for the price of 1 on the run down here into the final turn. So the local racer gets himself up inside the top 6.
He's done a great job. Awkward off the curb, but he's having a red-hot go at the moment. Good on him. And the thing with that is he's got a really good run, that local knowledge. He's got a really good run out of Cons Corner to get that speed up on the main straight.
You saw the correction he made on the exit of turn number 7 too. Got the curb, went straight on the defensive. Let's go down the pit lane with Cam.
Dave Russell, you're going to love this. They've gone for a different tyre strategy again this time. So Kel Tressiter's actually got green fronts and old rears this race, which is different to all greens previously and all olds earlier in the weekend.
I'm confused now.
No, it makes sense.
You've got to try, yeah.
He's just tuning the car to what he needs. He's obviously got good feel in the car, and he's got a good understanding, so kudos to them for trying something new, and we'll see if it works out after the next few laps.
They climb the top of the back straight. Speeds over 200 k's an hour again. Side by side, this time Woods up doing that carby change. He'll pick up the lead. You can hear the cars bottoming out, can't you, as they head down into turn number 7. And Woods, as he did in race number 1, leads us on lap number 3.
He's got some great form in this round. He's doing a great job. Car's very fast at the start. We didn't quite get to see it go the full race distance for race 1. But again, he's going to try and push on nice and early now. He had a good gap in race 1. Let's see if he can do it again.
Well, the teams were, or drivers were caught out by the fact they thought they were going to get a one-lap screamer at the end of race number 1. It was called short and more like a 50-metre restart in the end. Hopefully we'll go green right to the end, to which Blake Skiveris on the back of James Duckworth. He's back in 5th position. And Travis Sharp on the mission. You've got Stevenson, Chapman, Tucker, and Alex Babutis back in 10th position. Been impressed with the 17-year-old rookie.
Some wide lines going on there. Obviously, these cars are a lot smaller. You can get away with having a narrow line, and obviously the guys were talking about in the supercar race, different lines you can take down there. These cars, it opens up even more because you're taking up less real estate.
Into turn 7, it's an uphill braking point, and as this race unfolds, that sun just begins to get a little bit lower here. Into turn number 1, watching Blake Skiveris. That'll play havoc on their eyesight is what I was trying to finish off.
Well, we may see some of them, you know, putting their hand up. You'll know if that'll be the telltale sign. If the hand's going up to try and screen that a little bit, it's giving them some grief.
Through that long left-hander, climb across the top of the hill and plunge down to turn number 6. Kel Tressiter, Rookie of the Year last year in the Aussie Racing Car Super Series. Probably would have won the championship with a couple of races that went by the wayside in the early stages of the year. Jay Robson, he's been impressive in the first 2 rounds, collected 3 of the 4 race wins in Symmons Plains, which was more like a boat race down there with the amount of water we had just a few weeks ago. That's Stevenson pulling out for a pass on the run down to turn number 7. Lap 4 is in the books. Chapman's fighting back here.
Robson's up the inside there. I don't know if he's quite got the overlap. He's trying. Didn't quite pull it off, but great move. He's obviously driving with a lot of confidence at the moment.
And Skiveris is at the back of this group as well. Duckworth. Tressiter ahead. And off goes the Western Sydney cars at the exit. That's a long way on the inside.
Yeah, I don't know if they got tagged or to turn that far to the inside of the track, or whether it was a spin that we hadn't quite seen on camera there. So Robson did get through there before, so Tressiter's obviously applying the pressure. And on comes James Duckworth now.
Brave, left until the last second. A whole lot of RPM, and the RDA brakes entry. Neat pass, caught him napping at the very last second.
He's got a good run. I don't know whether the exit speed was compromised. By the looks it was. I'd look for a run up the inside here.
It's allowing Woods to get away. It's 1 second. Tressiter to the inside. The car's almost on the ground on the braking point. Duckworth will have a nice little drag race, won't we? Duckworth will be on the inside. He's got a bit more momentum. And your reigning champion should retake this position. The time we get down to turn 1, and Blake Skiveris wants a piece of it too. Just sat there and waited, didn't he?
Yeah, this is working in Craig Woods. He'd be watching there going, guys, dice all you like. I'm just going to keep pressing on. And we see there's that footage of that little off-track excursion there.
So it was Grant Thompson. He did it on his own on the exit of turn number 7. So what's Robson got here? About 1.4 seconds to make up on Craig Woods, who's looking to reset the lap record here for the 2nd time.
Yeah, he's driving well. He's in tune with the car. You can really see that he's able to place the car where he wants to. There's no way those cars are going to get a slipstream because they're just too far back now. So it's all playing in his hands at the moment. Let's see if he can finish this race off.
Half race distance, race 2 of the Aussie racing cars. They get 4 over the course of the weekend here in Perth. Coming up to Townsville this year and a race in the Gold Coast. A lot of street circuit racing for these guys this year. They're going to finish up in Newcastle, where we're all going for the first time to wrap up this year's Virgin Australia Supercars Championship. What's Stevenson doing there?
Looks almost like he's trying to warm his tyres or shake. Yeah, it's quite a weird movement there.
Has he picked up some rubber and just trying to loosen it off?
Yeah, it could be. Obviously, there's a lot of marbles out there. He may have got offline and just, yeah, trying to shake, or he's had, you know, sometimes if he's had any contact.
Watching Charlotte Pointing right now, the laser sponsor number 52 from Newcastle, right on cue. inside the top 10 now. Picked up a race win late last season and doing the championship full-time. Not the only female racer we have in the category too.
Yeah, it's good to see, and she's obviously driving well. She's giving it, yeah, she's showing the boys how to do it that are behind her, and yeah, good to hear she's got a win in the category too. Fantastic. 9th
position in race 3 at Symmons Plains, albeit with so many cars running off the track during the race. She's the only one that managed to stay on the island to get herself a nice top 10 result. And leading the guy that's been racing these cars for a long time, Brendan Tucker, is going to try something very different. It's not going to work on the outside. It never does.
He's trying to get the run there, and it's obviously with these cars, it's very easy to just hold them to the outside, but still use up all of that track on the exit.
Try and get the switchback maybe on.
Yeah, absolutely. Duckworth here still applying the pressure to Robson. All the while, Craig Woods is driving away.
He'll be loving this.
Absolutely, and he's doing record times at the moment.
1 minute 5.39. We're around the record of James Abella, which dates back to the last time we were here. And we're out by maybe 100th of a second. Back then, we're on the Yokohama tyre. Now, in 2017, the new Kumo tyre, which has been widely accepted by most of the drivers after a test day. Duckworth pulling out, won't get to do it there. Squirms the car under brakes.
And you can actually hear it there, that skipping across the front as the front splitter's touching down under brakes there. So he's got his ride height as low as he can possibly get away with here for the last corner, and it's really going to help that aero, getting it nice and low under brakes. It is touching, it is literally grinding it away at the front.
Can you feel that?
Oh, for sure, yeah. Yeah, he would feel that through the wheel.
Here he goes, Duckworth. So Robson just starting to feel the pressure a bit. The 23-year-old from Sydney. Just one of the older guys in the category now, with so many young drivers coming up. It's been a great stepping stone out of karts over the years, and since the guys progressed into open wheel categories. Just a fun category to go racing in.
Oh, absolutely. They look like a ball. Their cars are moving around a lot. And you've got to be quite disciplined driving these, because if you lose any momentum, you've got to keep that up. This is a real flowing circuit where you have to do that. If you've got that luxury of having a lot of power, you can sometimes get away with it. If you lose momentum, generally there's another 4, 5, 6 cars going to want to wait to get past.
So lap 10, just like that. We're only 3 laps from home. And Duckworth glued to the back of the 6-star entry of Jay Robson. 2.8 seconds behind Craig Woods. Searching for his second race win of the weekend, and his 3rd of the season.
Tressiter's just dropped away. We're talking about that tyre strategy earlier in the race. I'm not sure, not sure how that whether it's worked out. He'd probably say after this, where he's moved backwards a couple of spots, so it probably hasn't been a yield for him there.
Duckworth.
Great move.
He set him up nicely. They go past Ruth Bowler, who's back in 22nd position. That is the oldest car in the category. That was originally the 5th car that Phil Ward built back in 2000.
Is that right?
There's no spare parts for it now. She's doing her best just to get the car home at each race. Maybe we'll step up to a new car later in the year. But still holding strong after 17 years.
Yeah, it's a credit, isn't it? They certainly built a great car. And what a great category it's been over, so many years. Be interesting to see if Duckworth can hang on to this now.
Do you think he went too early? No such thing.
No such thing. But he may have said, as we talked about in the earlier race, he may have said his tyre pressure's a bit lower. It's all starting to come to him now, but someone that I cannot see them catching at the moment is Craig Woods, so he's driving very well at the moment.
And that's him disappearing out of turn 6 through Con's corner. This is Reece Chapman in the Red Point sponsored number 25, his best ever qualifying result in his short career. They missed a setup in the first race. It came on too late in race number 1. It's back in 7th position, chasing down Travis Sharp, the car that Ben Walsh would normally drive, and inside the top 6.
They're having a good battle here. He did a good job to block him and actually get away with it. I thought, he's going to lose too much momentum, but he's probably going to get a reprieve at the moment.
So he's lost a lot of ground on the exit. Meantime, Craig Woods, it's out to 4.2 seconds. And will just, might be in cruise control, but knows he's only got a few turns before he greets the checkered flag for the second time.
He's driven a really straight race too. We haven't seen, you see a lot of the guys behind him sort of sliding the car through the entry and then off at the exit. Woods has driven the car very straight, as we've seen someone in the, have they made contact? Yeah, they've made contact with the fence there.
And that's Jeff Waters in the 96 machine. Cure for MND Foundation entry, so that's on the last lap. Meantime, he'll come out of the top of the hill. Love that shot when they plunge over the top of this Barbagallo Raceway. And down the inside of Ian Shivers to put him a lap down. The 33-year-old electrician from Sydney is about to collect his second race win of the weekend, his third of the year. And Craig Woods, a dominating win in race number 2 of the Aussie racing cars here today in Perth.
That'll be a satisfying win for him, because race 1, he obviously did it under that safety car. He's still in front, got to the front. This one is a real showing to the competitors, say, hey, I'm the man to beat at the moment. And he is. He's got a lap record to his name now, and he's driving very, very well.
No doubt about that. 4.5 seconds in the end, back to Duckworth. Robson gets another top 5 result with Blake Skibberus, who was coming on strong then in the closing stages of that race. Kel Tressida, the tyres didn't pay off in the end after a front row start, fell back to 5th position. And Woods chalk up another win. Chapman got home for 7th. Alex Barbudas back in 9th position, and Charlotte Pointing, another top 10 result. The young lady from Newcastle, some 26 seconds down the road. There was Craig Thompson, Brendan Tucker, down to Michael Rinken, Sam Chester and Ian Shivers, who went a lap down.